Okay, there you are. Okay, guys, Alec, Peirce, Scuba, tech tips. Now, again, this is a tech tip that is coming directly from comments and questions from you guys out there. So please keep them coming. All my subscribers, thank you very much, by the way. I love it. Keep those comments and questions. If you think of something and how do I do this, you send it to me, and I will do my best if I can. If I have the, obviously, I won't. If I know about it, I will do my best to see if I can help a little bit. But this is a question that came from several times actually from viewers, and they were saying, what should I buy first? Now that's a good question. Because if you walked into a decent dive store lately, there's a lot of junk in that dive store. Good junk, you know what I mean? And different people have different opinions as to what you buy first. I'm going to tell you what I think you should buy first. Now maybe your dive store, your LDS, local dive store, or your instructor, or your buddy and someone that may have different opinions. So now you can weigh those opinions and see which one is right for you. Don't ever listen to someone who says, this is the best. This is the only one you should ever get. Okay, no. Use your own common sense. Anyway, today we're going to talk about what you should buy first. If you just got into scuba diving, you're enthusiastic, ba-ba-ba-doo, or you've been diving a long time, but you laid off for 10 years, now you're back into it again. Okay, I got to get my gear. What should you buy first? What's the sequence of buying scuba gear? Okay, let's do it. Most important piece of scuba equipment you will ever own. No, it's not the regulator. No, it's not the tank. The single most important piece of scuba equipment you will ever own is the mask. Sure, you need the other junk too, but if your mask doesn't fit, if it leaks, if it fogs up all the time, if it's uncomfortable, leaves a red welt on your forehead. I have quite a Neanderthal forehead. My wife says not completely evolved yet, and so I used to get sore. Oh, if your mask doesn't fit and work well for you, you're not going to enjoy scuba diving. You won't do it. So what's the point of having all that other equipment if you don't have a decent mask? It's going to be a good mask. You go to your local dive store, you try on masks, and listen to the clerk's advice. And I can do that sometime with you. I think I did that in one of our how to fit a mask properly. But the mask is the single most important piece of equipment. Good quality mask, good brand name mask, good adjustments on it, easy adjustments. Tightens. Mask is first. Now normally when you buy the mask, you get a snorkel to match. You see, they match. Matter if it matches or not, but it's nice these days. You can get all different colors and so on. And this is a good snorkel. They're all like this now. A flexible end on it, so it falls out of the way when you're scuba diving. Purge on the bottom. Replaceable mouthpiece. It used to be that way. 50 years ago when I started diving, if your snorkel broke, you bought a new one. Now you can buy bits and pieces and parts for them. And they don't break because they're all synthetic. So it's a good thing. And a dry valve on top. Again, we didn't use dry valves years ago because they weren't very good. But now using silicone. So mask and snorkel. Mask and snorkel. And once again, usually the dive store will have packages. And you can buy mask and snorkel and fins as a package. And they all match. And they look beautiful. And assuming it fits. The fit is the most important thing. Right? And they look good and they're highly efficient. These are very efficient fins. We talked about fins in a recent video, performance. And so mask, snorkel, and fins. That's what you get first. And normally when you buy mask, snorkel, and fins, because they're scuba type fins, you will get a boot as well. Whether it's a 3 mil boot for down south or a 7 mil boot for diving on cold water or diving anywhere actually. And then so this is your first purchase. Okay, divers, this is it. First purchase. Why is this your first purchase? Well, because it's cheap. No, that's not the reason. A good quality set like this, to give you an idea, will cost between $200 and $300. $200 to $300 for a good quality set. And good quality means brand name, and the dive store should back it up as well. Here at the store that I work with, we have a lifetime guarantee, even against breakage. These things don't break. They don't break anymore. You can't break a fin, you know. So if you have an accident and somebody drops it and it smashes, bring it back to our store. We'll give you a new one forever. Now that's not common. So you may not get that kind of customer service, but good customer service is very important. But mask, snorkel, fins, and boots, about $300 for top quality, and you've got your set. Now why? Well, because you need this to go scuba diving. Yeah, that's obvious. Every scuba dive. Oh, that's right too. Even if you're going spearfishing or photography or cave diving or night diving, you need it for every dive. You don't need all the other toys for every dive, but you need this for every dive. And then after the scuba dive, you're on the dive boat, and you're back on the boat a bit early. You had a great dive, and a lot of your friends are still in the water. You could go snorkeling, couldn't you? You could have a good time, jump in and go snorkeling. if you have mask, snorkel, fins, and boots. So you see, this is used in every dive. It's used for snorkeling, and it's used anywhere in the world. You could be at the cottage. You could be just out on a tour on a cruise ship somewhere. You got your mask, snorkel, fins, and boots. You can go scuba diving or snorkeling anytime you want. Also, very important, these are very personal. In fact, this package is often called the personal gear package. It's personal. It fits your face. It fits over your nose. It fits into your mouth. You see, it's personal. It's nice to know that it fits. Nobody else has been using it. This is not a rental. You still keep it clean, but you have to worry about it, okay? It fits. It works, the snorkel works, the fins are comfortable, the boots work really well, so this fits and works really, really well, and you're going to use it in every single dive you make. First purchase. Okay, good, that's easy. And also the other reason why you want that is you can rent everything else. That's right, if you have good, you can rent that too. But it's not yours, it's been well used, you don't know who's been using it, it may or may not fit and so on, you see. Nice to have your own. What's next? And there's a lot to choose from. What do I get next? Well, if you're going to be an active scuba diver, if you're enjoying yourself and you're scuba diving, and you intend to do more, maybe take more courses and really enjoy yourself with your other buddy friends, the next thing you want is a computer. Now, a dive computer. Now, some of you old guys, and that's always funny coming from me, I'm 70 years old, I've been diving for over 60 years. That's right, I started when I was 10 years old in 1958. Long time. So it's kind of funny when I say you old divers, hey, you don't need a computer. Yeah, you do. Get a computer. For about the same price as your mask, snorkel, fins package, you have a dive computer. Goes on your wrist for every dive. It records every dive. It records every dive dead accurately. You can take this dive computer, hold it in front of you, and it says 20 feet. Move it up, it says 19 feet. Move it down, it says 21 feet. You can't do it with any other instrument. It records the entire dive. It puts down the date, the time, how deep, how long. Everything's on there. Every dive you've done is in the computer. You can do 2, 3, 4, 9 dives a day. No diver, no matter how careful and experienced he is able to accurately keep track of surface time, ascent rate, all that stuff for more than 2 or 3 dives in a day. Very, very, very difficult. You're working with the tables. You made 2 dives in the morning. Good. You're sitting at lunch and you're having lunch and you're going to take the afternoon off and your friend walks by and says, hey, we're going up for another couple of dives. You want to join us? If you have dive tables or any other system other than a computer, you don't know. Can you or can't you? You don't know. It'll take you half an hour to figure out if it's safe for you to go diving. Do you have a computer? Hang on. How deep we're going? 60 feet? Yep, I can join you. Lots of benefits. Keeps track of everything. And modern computers, meaning less than 5 years old, modern computers are 100% reliable. Now, you heard me say that. I said 100%. Now, years and years ago, flat tires were very common. I haven't had a flat tire in probably 30 or 40 years. So I would say that tires these days are 100% reliable. Now, you know what that means. I could get a flat tire tonight, but the likelihood is very, very slim. These are like tires. They just don't go flat. They don't fail. Very seldom. If they do fail, some guys say, well, if it fails, you got a computer, you're screwed. You're not. If your computer fails, what do? You signal to your buddy, got to go up, and you make a slow, safe ascent to the surface, your dive's over for the day. So, not a big deal. You can change the batteries yourself. They're inexpensive. This is what you get. Number 2. Okay, now what? Now it gets not complicated, but now it gets debatable. It depends on where you're going to be diving. Are you going to be traveling a great deal? You're diving from your home, you're diving from shore, from boats. A lot of different things now will affect your decision. Here's my suggestion. You've got your mask, snorkel, fins, and boots. You've got your dive computer. You can dive anywhere. You can rent a tank. They're all the same everywhere in the world. You can rent regulators. You can do that. You can rent BCs, unless you're an odd size, like Kevin over there can't rent BCs. No, rental shops don't have BCs big enough for him. All right, so he has to have his own BC. So you see them eating different things. Same with wetsuits. Kevin has to have his own wetsuit. Wherever he goes around the world, he has to take his own wetsuit. Because he goes into a rental shop around the world, they don't have a wetsuit to fit him. Take 3 wetsuits zipped together. Okay? Kevin's, anyway. So, a lot of things factor into this. My suggestion, Scuba unit. Next is your Scuba unit. So next you will look at a regulator, and of course a regulator system includes the regulator, first and second stage, primary, with a safe second, a hose for your buoyancy compensator, and a console gauge of some sort. Interestingly enough, if you have your computer, most computers today, a lot of computers anyway, if you plan ahead a little bit, can be mounted on your computer into the console. So you have your pressure gauge, right? And then you have your computer that you've been using all along and has all your dives on it. It'll mount right in there. Okay? So you see how it all works together? So next I would suggest the regulator. And I suggest a regulator before the BC because the regulator is kind of personal too. It's nice to have your own regulator. You know it works really, really well. It's a good regulator. Doesn't mean expensive. I have another video out there that says you can get regs between $300 and $800, I think it was. Watch that video. So they're not a lot of money. You can get a good quality regulator, put a couple accessories on it, okay, and you're all set to go. It's yours. Nobody else has been using it. You know it works well. You have it serviced properly. You don't know when you rent a regulator, you don't know any of these things. See, so it's nice to have your own, okay? And then if you need to, because you're an odd size, extremely small or extremely big, you might want to get a BC at the same time. A lot of dive stores will have packages. So if you buy a regulator, you can get a buoyancy compensator at a very special rate at the same time. So commonly, the regulator and BC, the Scuba unit, if you like, is purchased as a package. That's the next step, usually. What's left? Oh, yes, you have to have a wetsuit. Sure. Most diving, even if you're diving in warm water, even if you're diving in the Caribbean, South Pacific, Mediterranean, no matter where you're diving, within reason, you wear some kind of exposure protection. You know, certainly here in Canada, we wear a lot of exposure protection, but this is nice to have. And again, some factors will enter into this. It depends where you're diving. If you're diving down south, you can get by with an inexpensive 3mm suit. You can rent suits. I'm not a big fan of renting suits. Again, you know, other people have been wearing them, but you decide on that. So it's nice to have your own suit. If you dive a lot, and if you dive in cold water, and you're going to be diving a lot, you need a suit. Get your suit. Suits are $300. $350. Get you a heck of a good suit. And you have it forever. So there you go. Mask, snorkel, fins, and boots. Personal gear. Computer. Scuba. Exposure. You are now a fully outfitted diver. Now there's lots of other stuff you probably want, but you got birthdays, Christmas, Father's Day, Mother's Day, all of those holidays. Knife, light, and so on. I've gone through all of that with you before. But for those of you out there asking, okay, what do I buy first? Mask, snorkel, fins, boots to work, computer, scuba, exposure. That's my suggestion. Think that over, kick that around a little bit, see what special considerations you might have, work it into that, and maybe that will help. Alec, Peirce, Scuba, talk to you again soon.